In Lagos, the city where dreams fight for air and poverty waits like a hunter in the shadows, one barefoot boy stood on Third Mainland Bridge and cursed the only enemy he knew, poverty. He whispered into the night. But Lagos is a city that doesn't forgive weakness. Tonight, this boy will face a choice between shame and survival, between his father's madness and his own destiny. And the choice he makes will either bury him in poverty forever or set fire to a path the whole world will one day remember. This is not just a story of survival. It is a war, the war between ignorance and knowledge, between chains and freedom, between Lagos and one boy's dream. His name is Obinna. And this is the night poverty met its match. In the bustling heart of Lagos, where danfo horns scream louder than prayers, a boy stood barefoot on Third Mainland Bridge, staring at the city lights. He whispered, "Thunder, fire, poverty, you will not kill me." Obinna was only 13. His father, once a dock worker at a Papa port, had lost his mind after a tragic accident. People in the compound whispered, madness runs in his blood. Neighbors mocked them. His mother, a street hawker, sold sachet water from dawn till midnight just to feed her children. But Obinna carried a secret dream: education, not just for himself, but for his entire family. He believed books could fight poverty better than fists. Every night, by candlelight, he read torn textbooks he picked from dustbins. One night, as he bent over a book, his father stormed in screaming, chasing unseen spirits. Neighbors shouted, "Ino well, tie him before he kills somebody." Obinna froze. Should he protect his father or hide from shame? And just as the compound gathered to drag his father to a prayer house, Obinna made a choice that would either save his family or destroy them. They tied his father with ropes like a goat for slaughter. Pastor Ade shouted, "This madness is a curse, poverty's spirit. We must flog it out." The villagers cheered, but Obinna's heart broke. His father wasn't a demon, he was sick. The beatings worsened his father's condition. At night, Obinna cried into his pillow, whispering, "One day I will prove to them that mental illness is not witchcraft." As his mother begged neighbors for food, poverty tightened its grip. He almost dropped out of school. Then one day, his English teacher, Mrs. Adebayo, noticed his brilliance. She pressed a book into his hands and said, "Education is your weapon, my son. Use it well." But books couldn't fill empty stomachs. So Obinna made a risky decision: hawk gala and pure water on Third Mainland Bridge. He swore, "If poverty doesn't fear my father, it will fear me." What happened one night on that bridge nearly cost him his life. But it also opened the door to a destiny greater than he ever imagined. They said Lagos was the city of dreams, but that night on Third Mainland Bridge, Obinna almost lost his life chasing that dream. Obinna's tray balanced with gala and bottled water as he weaved between cars in the evening traffic. Horns blared, exhaust fumes filled the air, and tired workers leaned against their car doors. He was only 14, but Lagos traffic was his classroom. Then suddenly, chaos. Two boys from Mushin, older and tougher, snatched his tray. "Omo, not today you go learn," one of them shouted, shoving him to the ground. Obinna chased them without thinking, running dangerously close to the edge of the bridge. A danfo bus swerved, horns screeched, and people screamed. Obinna slipped. For a moment, he dangled at the edge of the bridge, his small hands gripping a rusted rail. Below, the lagoon spread wide and dark like the mouth of death. "Jesu," people shouted. A young man in a suit, his face tense with fear, grabbed Obinna and pulled him up. The gala thieves vanished. Obinna collapsed, shaking. The man introduced himself. Mr. Chike, a banker returning from the island. He stared at Obinna's torn school uniform under his hawker's clothes. "Boy, why are you risking your life here? You should be in school." Obinna's lips trembled. "Sir, I want to be in school, but poverty doesn't allow it." Chike's eyes softened. He pressed a card into his hand. "Come to this address tomorrow. Don't be late." Obinna didn't know it yet, but that card was not just paper. It was a key to a door that could change everything. The next morning, as he stepped into Ikoyi, Obinna realized he was entering a world that looked nothing like the Lagos he knew. And not everyone there wanted him inside. Ikoyi smelled different. It wasn't smoke and sweat. It was perfume, polished cars, and wealth that made the air feel heavy. Obinna arrived at Chike's mansion, clutching the card. The security man eyed him with disgust. "You sure say na you this Ogawansi? Abeg komotier." But Chike appeared, waving him in. Inside the mansion, marble floors shone like mirrors. Chandeliers sparkled like daylight. Obinna had never seen anything like it. Chike listened carefully to his story. He called his wife, Adaora, who ran a private school. She was skeptical. "Chike, Lagos is full of smart street boys. We cannot carry everyone." But Obinna's eyes burned with determination. He recited a poem he had memorized about hope and poverty. His voice shook the room. Adora's eyes watered. They offered him a scholarship. "From today, you will attend school. We will cover your fees, uniforms, books." At school, it wasn't easy. Rich students mocked him. "Area boy, bridge pickin', go back to your gutter." Every insult cut deep. But Obinna remembered his father's screams at night and his mother's cracked feet from hawking. He vowed, "I must rise, not just for me, but for them." Just as he began excelling, news came. His father had run away from home, naked on the streets, chased by mocking children. Obinna's world shook again, and this time, it was not poverty trying to break him. It was madness. How do you explain to the rich that madness is not a curse, but an illness? In Lagos, ignorance can be deadlier than hunger. When Obinna's father was dragged half-naked through the market, people shouted, "Chain him! Beat the demon out of him!" His mother wept. Obinna ran from Ikoyi to Ajegunle barefoot, tears burning his eyes. At school the next day, he overheard classmates laughing. "Did you hear? That scholarship boy's father is a madman." The laughter spread like fire. His chest burned with shame. That afternoon, Adaora called him aside. "Obinna, is it true?" His lips trembled. "Yes, ma'am, but he is sick, not cursed. One day, I will prove it." For weeks, Obinna hid in the library, drowning himself in books. Mental illness, psychology, health. He read like his life depended on it, because it did. One day, a competition was announced. Lagos Future Leaders Essay Contest. Prize, a national scholarship. Topic, how to solve Nigeria's hidden problems. Obinna's hand shook as he wrote, "Our hidden problem is not just poverty. It is ignorance." The day of the results, Obinna's name was called. He had won. The hall erupted in applause, but not everyone clapped. Some whispered, "A boy from the slum? That's impossible." Obinna didn't know that with every step forward, new enemies waited in the shadows, ready to drag him back down. Success is sweet, but in Lagos, sweetness attracts envy, and envy can kill. Obinna's essay earned him recognition. NGOs invited him to speak. Newspapers published his story, from hawker to hope. But as fame grew, so did resentment. Some neighbors sneered. So because you dey write for paper, you think say you done pass us? His uncles, jealous of his progress, mocked his mother. Book no fit cure madness. That your husband go die insane. One night, his father disappeared again. Days later, they found him under Carter Bridge, shivering, talking to himself. Neighbors wanted to chain him once more. Obinna stood in their way. Obinna cried, but refused to give up. He contacted one of the NGOs he had met. With their support, his father was admitted into a psychiatric hospital in Yaba. For the first time, professionals, not prophets, treated him. Months later, his father's condition improved. He could smile again, even recall memories. Obinna knelt before him. Papa, we are not cursed. We are just human. Tears flowed. The boy who once sold pure water on Third Mainland Bridge was about to shake the whole of Lagos with one final act of defiance against poverty and stigma. The same boy they once mocked as Bridge Pickin' now stood on a stage at the University of Lagos holding a microphone. Thousands watched. Millions would later see it on TV. Obinna was now 21, a scholarship student, an activist, and the founder of Hope Beyond Chains, a foundation that gave scholarships to poor children and advocated for mental health awareness. His speech thundered across the hall. Poverty is not our destiny. Madness is not a curse. Education is the bridge between shame and dignity. We must admonish poverty, break the chains of ignorance, and lift each other up. The crowd rose, clapping, crying, shouting. His mother sat in the front row, tears streaming down her face. Beside her, his father, now stable on medication, smiled proudly. The same compound that once mocked them now gathered at their door, begging for school fees, for help with sick relatives, and Obinna helped them. Not with pride, but with compassion. Moral lesson. In Lagos, the city that eats the weak, Obinna proved that resilience, education, and compassion can turn a hawker into a healer. If Obinna's journey touched your heart, don't just scroll. Smash the like button, share this story with someone who needs hope, and subscribe for more powerful African folktales of destiny, resilience, and redemption. Together, let's admonish poverty and break the chains of stigma.